From IRN at 6 o'clock, I'm Mike Francis. The United States is under siege this morning following the most deadly and coordinated terrorism attack in modern history. Hijacked passenger jets have crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York, causing the buildings to collapse. A third jet slammed into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., while a fourth plane went down near Pittsburgh in nearby Pennsylvania. Thousands of people have been killed, and the United States has been paralyzed as fears grow of further attacks. Fighter jets are patrolling the skies over the U.S. Capitol, and President George W. Bush describes today's events as a national tragedy. All civilian planes have been grounded, and there are efforts underway to seal off America's borders with Mexico and Canada. No one has claimed responsibility for the attacks, but the finger is being pointed at Muslim extremist Osama bin Laden. However, Afghanistan's Taliban regime, which has strong ties with bin Laden, denies he is to blame. A man who was in the basement of the South Tower of the New York Trade Center at the time the plane hit has described the horrifying scenes.
Some guy came out, his skin was all off. I helped him out. This is him all over. There's people jumping out of windows. I've seen at least 14 people jumping out of windows. It's horrific. I can't believe this is happening.
There's pandemonium in Manhattan, much of which has been evacuated.
We heard a big bang, and then we saw smoke coming out, and everybody started running out, and we saw the plane on the other side of the building, and there was smoke everywhere, and people are jumping out the windows. Over there, they're jumping out the windows, I guess because they're trying to save themselves. I don't know.
President Bush says he's already spoken to the FBI and the Vice President.
And have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. And now, if you join me in a moment of silence.
Our ambassador to Washington, former Prime Minister Jim Bolger, says there are no reports of any New Zealanders being caught up in the tragedy. He says our diplomatic staff in Washington and New York are all safe. Ambassador Bolger says people are comparing today with Pearl Harbor.
But it certainly is at this stage a very black day for America. It's a black day for the free world that this can happen to innocents who are going about their work in the normal course of their lives.
Security at American embassies around the world has been tightened, and some government buildings in London have also been evacuated as a precaution. Air New Zealand has diverted a plane that was bound to Los Angeles via Tahiti. The airline has cancelled 2 other international flights and is considering cancelling others as well. Acting Prime Minister Jim Anderton says nothing like this has ever been seen outside wartime.
We just feel a terrible sense of loss with American families and people who must be absolutely devastated at the shock and horror of this.